All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I hope you guys have not fallen completely out of the wagon because I was away. Hopefully not. So here we go. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go because we are going to talk about some very interesting stuff here. And that is mainly, we're going to talk about Bitcoin, ETF explosion. We're going to look at charts, obviously. We're going to talk about Bitforex, what we know, what we don't know. We don't want to keep radio silence like they do on this. We want to talk about it as much as we can whenever there is something to talk about. We want to look at what David had to say about Bitforex yesterday. We want to look at some very, very interesting charts and also assess where we are right now in the cycle, more or less. And we want to look at, as always, at Ecomi and Vivi. So all of that right after the intro. So, good morning, every one of you. I hope you have your coffees as well, ready to rumble. I first want to highlight and mention our newest member, our newest rare hodler, right above me, Chris Thomas, coming in with the number 31. So we are in the 30 mints already with Pro Legendary and Chris Thomas. And there are only 9 left in the 30s, or actually only 8 in the 30s. So be quick. Now, seriously, if you want to support this channel, I'm pretty happy about a like. That's most important thing for the algorithm. That if you give me that like, the YouTube pushes the stream out. Other than that, subscribing. You see this little number here. We got a lot of subscribers. Ultimately, that is good. And if you want to do more, obviously you can become a sponsor of this channel by being a rare hodler. So this panel is always for you. In the morning you get exclusive access to Telegram group with me and chat emojis that you can spam. That sounds like a good deal, right? But let's get started with the good stuff. Let's not talk too much anymore because guys. I have to quickly go back to full cam mode for that because I want to tell you the last 4 days I was in Barcelona at the MWC, the Mobile World Congress, and there were blockchain projects and Web3 projects and AR VR projects and everything, like looking into the future. It was awesome. Like that is a real awesome event. And what else can I say? If some people from Spain watch this, you guys have an amazing food culture. I really enjoyed the whole tapas culture. I didn't see too much of Barcelona yet because obviously if you go to these events, you're like always on trade show. You don't see as much. But I was in a couple of restaurants and that was really good experience. I really enjoyed it. Overall, that was a good experience. So now, just with that out of the way, obviously we're coming back here as much as we can with Crypto Morning Coffee. When I have to travel, I'll come with as many video updates as possible. So make sure to be subscribed and let's jump into the action. So, this happened and many more. So after the success of the Bitcoin ETFs, there are more ETFs launching. So BlackRock is obviously not sleeping on the rest of the market and launches a Bitcoin ETF in Brazil starting from today. So they're really, 1st of March, bam, accessing, giving Bitcoin ETF to a country that has 220 million inhabitants. And obviously they will not have as much inflow as in the US. But still, if there is another ETF that accumulates Bitcoin, what we have just seen in the last weeks will only accelerate. Same goes for Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo and Bank of America's Merrill are offering a spot Bitcoin ETF. And I just read right now before the stream, but I didn't open it, I think, that the CEO of Vanguard apparently got fired because they missed the Bitcoin ETF opportunity. So they were really outspoken against that. So you see, it has huge consequences. And when we're looking at Bitcoin, I mean, it is, if we go a little bit back into the normal time frames, so to say, I mean, it is a huge success. If you look at the performance here, only of a couple of months, Bitcoin is up like 130%. If you calculate it from the bottom of Bitcoin, Bitcoin is up 4x. So had you nailed the bottom at the wick, you would be up 4x on Bitcoin already. So and obviously people are seeing that. At some point, mass media will. I think they already started talking about it because we are now in this all-time high area here for Bitcoin, but retail is not in it yet, and we will prove that in a second. But we're going to talk about Bitforex before. But I think it's important to see the big picture here with the ETFs, and we'll talk a little bit more after the Bitforex topic about how this is likely going to develop. So again, you remember that the Japanese regulators flagged 4 crypto exchanges, including Bybit, including Bitforex, for operating without a registration. Okay. Now I think Bitforex is sitting in Singapore, but still, this could have to do with why we are not seeing Bitforex online. It can be just a clean rug and they are on the run. But nonetheless, if you're looking here, this is the official Japanese letter of emission. I cannot read that. Maybe some of you can. But we see here basically names, etc., of persons who conduct virtual currency exchanges business without registration. And then we see here on the first 4, we see BitGet Limited, MaxC Global, Bybit, Fintech Limited, and Bitforex Limited. And yeah, so in this sense, you see that the regulator is really very clear. You do not have a registration, and these are the 4 exchanges, and the responsible people. So in this case, Jason Luo here named for Bitforex. The rest I cannot read. But, and this is also something, apparently, and this is a speculation because there are people that claim that this has not happened, or this has nothing to do with the deposit wallets, but there is an analysis of a 56.5 million drain from hot wallets on the exchange made by Zag. But we also saw that Dr. Profit is of the opinion that this hot wallet is not a depository wallet. And then also we had before that Jason, the Bitforex CEO, stepped down just before whatever happened just 3 weeks before the CEO stepped down and went away. So the big question is really what exactly has happened. We had Ecomi updating on the matter. Our efforts to contact the team Bitforex are yet to be answered, and at the time of writing, it is unclear if they will be. We have been in touch with our other exchange partners, and they will be assisting us to closely monitor the situation. We will provide another update should new information become available. Now, that is something where I have to see, by the way, I have to go to this. Okay, that is something where David Yu commented on last night at this panel, asked by Metamona, and I want to play this for you so that you can hear it. Let me just arrange the screen. There we go. And yeah, this is only going to take a minute or so.
I want to give you the opportunity.
They're like our Mario and Luigi, right? Nintendo
For a Web3 environment.
1 second. So this just reloaded on me because I think I watched some more of the interview yesterday after pulling that up. So let me quickly search the correct part.
environment and why?
Address them to the audience. Um,
It's an elephant in the room, and I want to get the elephant out of the room and we get on with our conversation. And I think, when Andrew and I talked about it, it is our responsibility to all of you and to the community to address this. And because we've I feel bad for OMI holders, especially because they've been on this exchange for 5 years and now this happens. So, David, I want to give you the opportunity just to address your community in your own words and what this means for them, and then we can get on with our first topic,
yeah,
if you will.
thank you. So when I first learned um, about the Bitforex issue, obviously I couldn't believe it. And few of the major side, as you have mentioned, a lot of our key supporters in Ecomi behind it have assets on it. Um, we constantly try to address these issues to get users to keep it on their own cold storage wallet or devices. We have attempt to reach out to the exchange for please explain. We have sent them mails. We have very limited responses because some of them are ex-employees or ex-employee or CEO of the firm. Um, I think once we get clear communication from the exchange, we'll find an appropriate forum to address these to our users. But at this moment, one of the great thing about our communities is that they all come together. And please be vigilant in everything. Just very unfortunate this has happened again over and over with many of these exchanges going down. So please stay tuned. When we have more update, we'll address them to the audience. Additional.
Okay, so at first that seems that there was not really information in there, but if we listen carefully, David said they have limited communication and not no communication. So he says that communication is coming from ex employees, ex CEO, ex founder, or something like that. So basically, it seems that they have contact with the CEO that stepped down from Bitforex. That's at least how it sounds. Now that would mean that person probably knows still what's going on and probably can communicate what's going on, and probably yeah. So this is only, I don't know. This is only what I feel could be the case, but there is nothing from the current operators of the exchange, and that is yeah. I mean, the exchange is dark for 8-9 days already, I think, more or less. And a lot of people have their tokens locked up, like from the Ecomi firm. We see it right now here in the chat. So for example, Trucking Hank says, I contribute 1.3 million OMI to that Bitforex token lockup, could be bullish this bull run. Omicron says 2.5 of mine, that sucks. Yeah, 7%. Yeah, Trucking Hank is at 7% of the supply. It's 22 point something billion total. The question is whether that's bullish or not. I mean, if you have 1.3 million trapped, that's only bearish for you because you cannot access it, right? And it will not move the needle. What moves the needle is if people cannot buy it. And that's not bullish, in my opinion, because if people cannot access the token from the US, then and most of the crypto trading volume in the world comes from the US. That's why the Bitcoin ETFs are so impactful as a launch in the US versus Bitcoin ETFs in other countries were not as impactful. Yeah, Mr. Green says also, I need my OMI from Bitforex. Chris Thomas says 22.5 million of mine. Are you kidding me? You have that locked on the exchange? Holy shit. That is some serious stack. I hope you have some other OMI somewhere. But yeah, okay, then it's even like, I mean, we see it's super important that we get communication to that exchange. I mean, we can technically we can just go and see what is new for Bitforex here. Can we do we have anything? No. February 1st is the last point of communication. Let's see if there's any news on Bitforex that we see here. Yeah, so and here we for example, here we see another quote. We probably won't be racing though the token side of things, said David Yu apparently. In response to the question, if you could do it all over again, would you do it different? I think he didn't want to. I listened to that part already, and he didn't want to say raise. I think he would say he wouldn't be doing the fundraising, the raising through a token once again, because that is one of the big factors of making a token a security in the eyes of the SEC. Yeah, but back to the Bitforex topic though, because we wanted to talk about Bitforex. No, there's nothing new. Like these posts were mostly all yesterday already. Shrumpalump here says found some odd, but that's already older, odd moves on Bitforex. So nothing new for Bitforex. Also on social medias. Omicron says, damn, sorry to hear, no one deserves to be robbed. I have a ledger but didn't get it off fast enough. Expensive lessons have been learned this week. Yes, and you have to see one thing. The lesson can be expensive in this way. It can be expensive in other ways. Like if you're aping into a full-blown bull market and you lose 90%, that's similar, only that some of these things can have a comeback, right? But also at the end, something has to happen. Like either the authorities, wherever, I think that thing was registered, I'm not quite sure if it's in Singapore or on the Seychelles or whatever, but either the authorities would have at some point like make a process, because you have to see one thing. Every user, especially the KYC ones, right? And I think on Bitforex, everyone had to do KYC, have a legitimate claim in at least one country, but probably more countries because they were operating in different countries for their assets. So at some point there will be, usually it cannot happen that an exchange just goes dark and everything is just gone. And also to extract money or crypto, you either have to liquidate crypto or extract the USDT that is on the exchange. So it is, and with these amounts of money and exchanges going rogue, usually agencies are involved in investigations. So you guys have legitimate claim to your OMI bags. And the good thing is that there is still time, a lot of time, until there would be a point where you would want to sell something of the Ecomi tokens, at least where we would say, okay, the bull market is on, we're already in for months, I want to take some profits, right? The bad thing is that these processes like chapter 7, chapter 11, chapter I don't know what bankruptcies, they can drag out, they can take a long time, but they didn't even file for bankruptcy. So we really have to see what's coming out. And the fact that no one has any answers for more than a week already is something that I really, I don't like that. Tracking Inc. says, sorry man, I still have 20 million on my ledger, thankfully, that is good. Chris Thomas says, my ledger was delivered yesterday. I have other assets, but not willing to sell the recoup, not willing to sell to recoup my OMI. Was able to get another 1.2 million though. Uniswap starting all over again. Okay, so I would see it like that. I would see it like you have it's like the bitcoins that were locked up in Mount Gox, right? That also took years to get unlocked. Okay, so if anything, it could happen that it takes a longer time that people get their funds back. It could be happening that people only get a part of the funds back, which usually is part of the bankruptcy processes, but there's no filing for bankruptcy. What does it have to do with the licensor or with the licenses in Japan? Yeah, I don't know, but it could be that authorities in several countries crack down on these or crack down on Bitforex. And the question is, if you are on one of the other exchanges with whatever you're doing, make sure to take your funds out, right? Because it's different. Like if you're on a Coinbase, for example, and something happens to Coinbase, you can be very sure that in the US there will be a big process open and there will be refunds to at some point to all of the people on that exchange and blah blah blah. If you are on whatever, like in Europe on Bitpanda, it's regulated and registered in Austria. The likelihood of an exchange like that going rogue is very, very much lower than this, right? And I would say going rogue next to impossible, but nonetheless, other things can happen. Like exchange gets hacked and loses a ton of funds. The exchange goes bankrupt, cannot pay you anymore because they leverage too much, and so on. So a lot of things can happen there. Let's see here. But yeah, I think it shows a high level of maturity that Chris Thomas is like, okay, I lost a lot of funds, but I'm going to start all over again. Yeah. So I really hope and pray that you all get your stuff back, especially the ones that have a lot in that. Ngip Lai says, I've been holding my OMI in my ledger for the last 3 years. The one time I transferred 39 million OMI to Bitforex to sell and put down for a house, and the next day they closed the exchange. I lost 30 million OMI. What the oh my god, that's just unbelievable. What is the likelihood to transfer exactly on that date the Ecomi token to Bitforex? That is unbelievable. That's devastating to hear. Heart goes out to you. Yeah, 100%. Oh my god, that's and guys, if you appreciate the reporting on all of that, we have 30 people here, so I would really appreciate if we could have 30 likes. Unless you're driving, then please do not touch your phone. Don't put your life at risk for a like on my stream. That would be too much to ask for. But if you can access the like button somehow, then I would really appreciate if you could drop a like on this. Okay, so yeah, hey Nico, what's going on? And also the others that I did not mention in the beginning. Mr. Green also had OMI on Bitforex, so Mr. Green in there. Jonas was here before. Maria Hotline, I don't know if he's here still. Yeah, so yeah, with that, the bad thing with this story is I wish I had more information. But if even Ecomi doesn't have information, that's all I have to speculate. Yeah, guys, let's talk quickly again, or let's talk about the about the Bitcoin topic, because we are seeing unusual things. Yeah, Bitcoin is front running the halving, and right now that should be sitting on the 20th or so, right? So there's not much room for the halving, or until the halving. So will we go on a sideways move? Like, I mean, nothing will look like this, right? But will we go on a sideways move? Will we stay below the previous all-time high, which is here? Will we stay? But we are already at the level where previously we topped out. So we are very close to mass media talking about Bitcoin again, and Bitcoin is just seeing high numbers of inflows all the time from the ETFs. So and the number of Bitcoin that gets bought exceeds the Bitcoin that currently gets produced by the network by a factor of 10, more or less, every single day. At the same time, we have some minor outflows still. We can still see minor outflows, but still that all gets eaten up. So that price action is with minor outflows. Now we have to see one thing. If that demand stays on a similar basis of hundreds of millions per day flowing into Bitcoin, and we at this point cut this production in half. I mean, we have right now 900 Bitcoin getting produced. And then here on this side, we will have only 450 Bitcoin produced per day. Yeah, that is, then suddenly you jump to a factor of 20. Yeah, if you would have the same demand. What you cannot forget is the higher the price goes, the more money you need to have the same Bitcoin inflow, right? So let's say at 30,000, let's say someone puts at $30,000 into it, right? So into the ETF. So that means the BlackRock or whatever buys one Bitcoin. But here the guy puts another 30,000 in, and that means BlackRock buys half a Bitcoin. Yeah, at this price point. So, and then it goes to 120,000. The guy puts 30,000 in again, and BlackRock buys 0.25. Okay, so obviously that inflow, the higher it goes, the inflow needs more money to absorb the same amount of Bitcoins from the market. Yeah. The other side is that we see high levels of inflows right now, but we also know that the people that are buying the Bitcoin ETFs also have an interest in taking profits. This is not grayscale trust anymore, where Bitcoin can only flow in. So that means the moment that someone of the bigger players takes profit, and that is institutional money, the moment that they take profit, there will also be huge numbers of Bitcoin hitting the market that then has to be bought up by other players at these high prices. And that could cause also bigger pullbacks in the future. Maybe not at this level, because we're headed into the halving, and the institutional money is front running the halving because they know that at some point, like all of that here below all-time high is comparatively cheap to what's going to happen. And that is also where they say, okay, let's say after that we go to 80,000, and here they start selling to retail, or after the halving, that institutional money starts selling to retail. Now, retail is not in the market, and this is something that I want to look with you and we have to a little bit rebuild here the our stream setup, because the action is on the right side here. So this is the Google Trends from 2004 to today worldwide for the search term Bitcoin, and we see that the search term is usually up at a maximum whenever there's a Bitcoin top. So these are our two Bitcoin tops that we just saw here in the previous cycle. And let me also go to the monthly chart to look at it with you guys. And yeah, so these two peaks, and then this peak here is the big spike, right? So we have it here, right? So this spike is the one before, the bull market before, and then we have this here. This was our last bull market. And then this is all bear market territory. And you see that if you see the worst engagement for Bitcoin was on the September 2023. That is here, where we already were out of the bear market, but no one noticed. So no one was searching for Bitcoin. Retail completely out. We are not far from, we're at the same value as November 22 at the moment in search terms. Let's see again. November 22 is where we bottomed, literally. So we are at bottom territory in terms of retail Google search terms. We're around the same level as it was here. Why was the level a little bit higher at that time? Because people were watching what happened to Bitcoin when the FTX collapse happened. So you see it here, but all of that, you see it here also, right? You have some spikes in the previous bear market, and then you have some run up. And I think we are around where we were in April to May 2020. And April to May 2020 is here at around the halving. Coincidence that the Google search terms even look the same as where we had this breakout? Only that we have already our breakout of that similar zone here, so front running once again, a little bit left-sided price action, right? But we have it here. Okay, so let's, if we say, okay, retail is not in it, then where's the money coming from? And that's exactly, it's institutions and the ETFs, and the ETFs are being bought by institutions right now, and by wealthy players, by rich people, by people, by entrepreneurs, founders, I don't know what, but not by retail. At least not excessively by retail. By whales, yes, but not by retail. When retail comes in, the chart looks like this and quickly goes to 50 and beyond. You see it here. Like we could say we are coming closer to the all-time high when we cross the 50 line in Google search terms. Another indicator for us to assess week by week where we are in the cycle, because we don't want to miss our optimal profit-taking zone, right? And that includes altcoins. So, and altcoins always, if you research them on, Google Trends, you go with Ethereum. You don't go with the term altcoins, because people are watching for specific altcoins, and Ethereum happens to be the one with the biggest engagement. So it kind of tells us when altcoins are getting more traction. And also we see here on Ethereum that we have just left the territory of a search term of 2, and now we're at 4. So we have slightly curved up here, but there is not much. Yeah, and if we look at Ethereum, and by the way, target met, high five. Yeah, here was our first target for Ethereum. Target met, green. Yeah, we have exceeded it, by the way, by a bit. 3,500 was reached, but this was the target from the breakout. Okay, Ethereum gets search terms, but we also see that here, for example, it spiked quite similarly, and here we also see that Ethereum more or less on a broader scheme gets the interest spike a little bit like delayed, but with the all-time high, right? Like if you zoom in on the search terms, you see that Ethereum is like 1 or 2 weeks behind, but it's more or less at the same time. And then you see bear market, right? And here we also had that, like Ethereum was not super known yet, or super like did not have that development in 2017. But you see then flatlining the whole bear market, and then it comes back a little bit. And that's exactly, again, April to May 2020, halving time. Now things are spiking 1.5 months before the halving. So we are a little bit earlier in the cycle. Yeah. Okay, so I hope if that's interesting, guys, smash up the like button. So let's include one more thing, because I get asked a lot when I do these analysis. What about NFTs? Okay, so let's put NFT into that. And there you can go with NFT, because people are searching for NFT. That's where we see it's absolutely not an NFT season. No one cares. No one cares about NFTs right now. And that's also why I think that for me, for example, it did now, and the next couple of months for me is to accumulate more of the NFTs or NFT plays that I want to be in, right? I mean, we saw NFT plays like Blur already up a couple of 100%. We talked about this on this channel. But in the cycle, you see NFTs didn't exist in 17 basically, so there's no value to them, or no value. And then we have the first, in that bull run, we have the first spike up at the Bitcoin peak where people noticed NFT. But then you see that only in January 22, so again on the Bitcoin chart, January 22 is here. We already entered the bear market, but most people didn't know it for Bitcoin. That's when NFTs became hot. So NFTs only became like went on a parabolic tear, went in a bull run when Bitcoin already topped out, Ethereum topped out, altcoins and midcaps topped out, and then it was time for the NFTs. Why? Because everyone got rich by Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the altcoins and put it into NFTs. Okay, and it will, in my opinion, it will happen in the same way. I mean, we already see it. The analysis chart here looks the same to me, like here. Only that we have a slightly higher level. Now we have 2, 4, and 22, and at that time here we had 20, 2, and 1. Okay, so or 0 for NFTs, because no one noticed NFTs in 2020. So NFTs very young. I think NFTs can do very, very well as a second run. The second run is always seems to be a very hard one, and I think the profits of this run will be massive. Like, they will be really massive. Okay, so another thing where we are in the parabolic or in the stage of the parabolic runs is this, and I discussed it and now we move this back. I discussed this in a video as well. We want to look at timing. Okay, so we see here usually parabolic explosion is after the halving and not already starting before the halving. It seems that we are starting now 2 months before the halving, so we should adjust for now our timeline is expectancy by 30 to 60 days when we calculate to the Bitcoin top. So it could be that the Bitcoin top is very early 2025 or even in the end of 2024. That could be the case. The second thing that we want to look at is the RSI, because we see that always when the RSI, let's start here in this range, when the RSI crosses the line of 70, which is the dotted line, when it crosses it, that's when the parabolic move really takes off. And we see it here. It crosses it and the parabolic move inclines. It crosses it here, and that's where the parabolic move starts. And we crossed it right now with this big candle. So in my opinion, and also with the break of this second, let's say, come up top where we broke it here, and also here the second top, and we broke it here. So actually, if you draw a line here, what I mean is this: you draw a line here, it coincides with the halving, with the breakout here, yeah, if you draw it to here, and with the crossing of the RSI of 70. Okay, and this is something that is here also, right? You see it here. The moment we break it, RSI crosses 70, we are beyond the halving or at around the halving, and we go into a parabolic move. And here as well, we just now crossed it, this here. Yeah, this is the white line on the yellow line now. We crossed it right now. We closed above it with a big bullish candle. We crossed above 70 on the RSI, and we are very close to the halving. Okay, so on a grand scheme of things, you see that it's not too far off, but we are a bit early. We're a bit early. So that is good, because that implies that this time is not different in terms of Pomponaccio, right? That the parabolic curve is still ahead of us. That we are probably going to see something like this right now, after the halving into, I don't know, maybe we could see a little bit of a slower month, and we all know that there is usually something like sell in May, go away, yada yada, right? That's where it's a little bit slow around the halving. Okay. And then one more, the TSI, True Strength Indicator. So we discussed before that the bull cross implies that the run is starting. Okay, so you see here bull cross. Bull cross is earlier than our other indicator, like breaking of this line, right? So bull cross. Bear cross implies bear market has started. Bull cross happens here, with touching, but happens here. The run is starting. Bear cross, bear market is starting. Yeah, here it was really good because the bear cross basically nailed it. And then right now we had in November bull cross. Yeah, November 2023 bullish cross, something like that. December, we discussed it when it happened on this channel, on this live stream. So we have bull cross, and the run starts. And what we see here is, and this is something important as well, we could technically draw this line and say, add to our analysis, that when the TSI, when the blue line of the strength hits this line, that's the first indicator that the run might be over already, or close to over. At the same time, when the RSI hits 91 or beyond, that means that we are coming very close to our top, yeah, because here we see it. The RSI hits 91 for the first time, and then it still takes a couple of months, right? The RSI hits very high here, and then it still takes a time. So the last time we basically, when we had this 90 plus RSI, we were basically at top levels. We then still came up to another top, but here, for example, we hit an RSI of 94, and then there were still 3 other green months. So there we cannot take this as, oh, it hit 90, so I sell, because if you have sold here, you're close to bear market then afterwards, right? So but it implies that you come to 90, that's where you want to think of, okay, we are coming close, 1-2 months, yeah, and then we're in. Let's see, Green Lantern, hey, what's going on? Dr. Knut, Frag, I am late, GM Hodlers, 33 views, 20 likes, what's up? Smash it for the algorithm. Yes, please, guys. 33 people, smash it. Only 20 likes, that means some people did not smash the like. Jordan, smash the like. What's going on? Yeah, so once again, this is these are all like things, if we combine them together and together with the Google search trends that we saw here, I think we can make a very educated guess on how the cycle goes. So just Nick asked, don't you think we will have a shorter bull run due to a quicker run up? Yes, that could happen, but how much quicker is the run up? The run up is, yeah, I would say 60 days quicker. So if we will say the top, okay, so let's measure the top on a week. We do it on a weekly basis because I think that's a little bit easier. So let's see. Let's take the last two bull runs, and I think we could even take this one because it's more similar in the way that it scales out. So if we take the halving from the last bull run and measure until the top, 518 days. Okay, so let's keep 518 days in mind. And then we have this halving, and we measure to the first top, 300 days, to the second top, 532. So 518, 532, okay? Good, then let's say 500, let's take the 518 days. Okay, 518 exact. That is September 2025. Now, you are right. We have a run up. So let's start it from where this run up actually went crazy, and that is more or less. What is that here? I cannot see it because the other one is in front of it. But it's more or less here when we broke this line. So if we go 500 days, let's give it a tolerance of 500 days or so. Yeah, like then we are at May 2025. Okay, 497 days from that breakout. We are at May 2025. Okay, so it could be that we accelerate even more and that we have to readjust. So for example, if we hit on the monthly an RSI of 90 way before that, like way before the year end, right? So if we already had hit 91 and beyond in December, then I would say latestly February the whole shebang is over, right? For Bitcoin, and then we have another 2 weeks or so where the altcoins are catching up to all of that, and then where the mid and small caps and so on. So that is really the moment that this happens, this constellation of RSI and TSI and the Google search trends, that's where I'm going to phase out, where I'm going to scale out, right? Jordan says, I already broke the like button by smashing it too hard, bro. That's my man. This is an example for everyone. Very good. Like a Hulk. Smash. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, in my opinion, this is what I'm looking at on the monthly. If we can, I mean, these two touches imply a trend line, and I will be looking at if this gets rejected here, then up here. But you see, I mean, from November until now, we just like barely started this upwards move. And then also there is this talk at the moment about that liquidity will flow out of Bitcoin, but it will not flow into altcoins, and I doubt that. I think we will have a massive altcoin season. By the way, if that was true, that this retail money went into Bitcoin, and it has nothing to do with crypto, then why is USDT dominance falling off a cliff? So USDT dominance means that money that was piled up in Tether hits the market. So that means basically this chart means how much Tether is, how much of the total crypto market cap of all crypto market cap is bound in Tether, and it's down to 4.5%. So of the total market, and the market cap rises, right? You have to see the market cap rises overall, but Tether goes down, means people are not in Tether. And there are only two ways to be not to be in Tether. Either you cash out into fiat, then it goes away, or you allocate into crypto, and that's what's happening right now. And what is really, really bullish is this. We have a big, okay, I have to reload and probably rebuild. Yeah, okay, so here we go, right? So this is, you see here, Tether's piling up. Actually, we can do this on this trend line as well in the monthly chart. So Tether is piling up all the time. And now we see this big trend line that is here since 2020. Yeah, confluence broke, found, but basically bounced and lost the level. So if we see this Tether flowing into the market, holy crap, this is going to be insane. Because this Tether dominance basically would say that we can look next at this level, that another whole percent basically of the entire market cap is flowing into crypto very soon, and maybe even half of the Tether that is out in the market. So we lost this level already, and that's what I'm basically showing you on the daily here. Yeah, so that was the bigger picture of what I was showing you. But here you see really Tether is freaking hitting the market, and whenever this bounces, and this is we are close to another level where it could bounce a little bit. Whenever this bounces, we are seeing a pullback in the crypto market. We saw it here, right? When we had this bounce, we saw it here was some pullback area. Gflow says, I got 10K to invest. Should I wait for a potential pullback? Yes and no, I would say. So for if you see a pullback, I personally, what I would do, without giving any financial advice, any recommendation, you do your own thing, I would put some money at whatever point into altcoins that have not just recently pumped crazy, that maybe had a pullback, because there are altcoins that had a pullback during the Bitcoin rise. And then also, if you see a collective pullback of Bitcoin and everything else, that's where you allocate more. Or that's where I would allocate more. And then I would still, at some point, like if there's a 20% pullback or so on Bitcoin and the overall market, that's where I would go hard. But I would make it like, okay, it's a red day, that's a DCA day, right? If it's a hard red day, that's more DCA. But anyways, Epico had a big pullback last 2 days. NFA just saying, Epico is high risk, right? I mean, I don't have Epico, but Jordan has, and so do your research on that stuff. That's all I can say. And now there's more interesting stuff here, and I'm really going in this a little bit harder on this analysis today, because I really want to bring this out, discuss this out. You see here our drawing, of the altcoin and where we are in that altcoin breakout. So we're really not surprised, because it kind of unfolds exactly as we drew it, right? As we copied it from here, and so what's bullish is we broke this big overhead resistance. Yeah, we had it. We see that it is a big resistance, because we reacted from both sides. And again, like, TradingView is really not letting me have open like several metrics at the same time. So so we see it here on on several parts that this was big resistance. So we reacted here, we reacted from the downside here, we found support, we lost support, and then over here we broke it, okay? But we reacted once again here big time. Like here we had our last pullback, now we broke it. I think because there's not much between here and here, there is not much. So I would say, and we can even label that the collective altcoin market is probably going I click call out, I think, but it's probably going to here next. Oops. Okay, so next we can put next target. There you go. Okay. Yeah, I think and how much percent is that on the altcoins? That's a 30% move collectively. Yeah. Does it happen overnight? Probably not, but that would be the next big resistance. And then we have one more level, and that is the all-time high for the collective others chart. By the way, the others chart, just so you know, the others chart is the market cap of all the altcoins that are not top 10. So no Solana, no BNB, no XRP, no... Is XRP still top 10? Yeah, I think so. Doge probably is in the top 10 right now. Yeah. So that more or less unfolds like this, and we will see if we are earlier on the alts here as well, and then we will adjust. Yeah, and that's what we are going to do almost every morning, except when I'm traveling. By the way, 40 people now here. Make sure to smash up the like button for the analysis, guys. Really, really important stuff to do that. And yeah, so let's look at, I think I covered everything. I covered in the video before that Bitcoin dominance is, it's almost at all-time high. Yeah, so this is not an alt season. Your alts reacting, cool stuff, because when the altcoin season starts, your alts are starting from a higher price, right? So it is likely that then your bags go multiple from the price that you are right now, or even higher, right? But I'm not here to discuss again the dominance. Let's talk about Ecomi, because so this is important. I put it on the thumbnail. I want to discuss it here as well. So Ecomi, we had yesterday a big purchase, apparently some bigger volume, and despite the exchange being down, but it gets sold off on this line here above. So there's a lot of selling. At the same time, we apparently found support in this area, which is good because it's on top of this, right? We did not yet at least, fall into this whale accumulation range once again, where we were for like the better part of the last year. And you see, we react every time that we get up here, we react in a big way for Ecomi. And that's if it would be good if we could stay above here and kind of challenge this more frequently, as we did here, 2 weeks. We're red currently, but still, I mean, we are in this upper area, and I think this is getting so significant. The moment that we break this resistance here, we will fly off for Ecomi. But it's very hard to break. I mean, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attempts. You know what's happening. The more you knock on a resistance line, the weaker it gets. But with the whales, there is very strong reaction. So the moment that we break this, that's the next target. The moment that we break this, 0018 is the next target. And we see that the OMI volume is higher. Despite Bitforex being down, it's higher. Yeah. I'm not adding more after the latest fumbles like Bitforex, and still they haven't released a new US exchange. I have majority of my dollars still in Omi, FYI. Yeah, we need exchanges soon. I think so. Yeah, and this is really nerve wracking because I mean Omi will also pump, but nowhere close to when it gets exchanges. So you really need exchanges. Omicron says same, Uncle Jordan. Yeah, and me too. By the way, I'm not adding more Ecomi because it's enough. First of all, for me, the percentage that it has in my bag is enough. And secondly, there are so many other things like Metacade, as Jordan here mentions, BTC, ADA. I don't know, man. The multiples are not enough on that. The potential is not enough, in my opinion, on ADA. OTK, AI Tech. Solana has already pumped so much. Getting into Solana right now is really, in my opinion, killing your potential for multiples. I'd rather go with a coin on Solana. TET, yeah, the same, already pumped so hard. So I would, right now, with the next money, spare money that I have, I'll probably go into other lower cap altcoins that can still do 20 to 30x or something like that. Trucking says pick one ETH or so for Roy. So probably, but more risky. Yeah, for return on investment, I don't know. I'd probably go with Solana, yeah. Not quite sure. So Ethereum is on 3.5k almost. So I think Ethereum has a 3 to 4x in front of it. Still, ADA might beat them both. Yeah, in terms of market cap potential, but ADA is, yeah, it's nothing coming, right? Not really good. Turtle slow and steady. Tell me about Bitforex exchange. Rewind, because we talked about Bitforex for 20 minutes, I think, in the beginning of the stream. AIT protocol. Okay, noted. How about BPro? Heard of that token? Yeah, I actually have a little bit of BPro, but I don't know. They seem to not be able to come out of the slump at the moment. I have a little bit, like a couple of, I don't know what, like $100 of BPro at the moment or so. Not even sure. I bought them in the last bull and I'm down 80% or so. So, yeah. Yeah, but for Ecomi, that's the situation. Nothing really changed in terms of our big resistance. Once we flip that, that we would go from here to here. It would be 100% move. Gotta run, PH. Wife calls. Great stream. Enjoy your day, my man. You too enjoy. And by the way, we are already. Oh yeah, bumper as well. I have bumper as well. So you guys are really excited. So first of all, thank you very much for being here and commenting this with me and listening to all of that analysis. I hope you find value. That's very important. If you watch us later, then let me know in the comments below what you think. I also have to go. So guys, make sure to smash up the like button. That helps me tremendously. Consider becoming a rare hodler. The rare hodler fam is growing. And yes, wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. And I see you in the next live stream. And stay tuned for videos today and on the weekend